Hey guys, it's the Gimbish Glob here, and I've been thinking a lot about the Game Awards recently because I don't have much else to do. I like them a lot in spite of the fact that they're terrible, and I've been wondering, which game this year is going to win Game of the Year. I want to make it clear before I start talking that this isn't really about quality, because I think that quality doesn't really play that big of a role in who wins Game of the Year. So it's like the Oscars. Is it always the best movie that wins Best Picture? Not really. It's about, campaigning and stuff, and sometimes it is the best movie, Parasite, but it's not always. And it's the exact same thing for Game of the Year. Elden Ring was the best game of 2022, but is it that the reason why it won, or is it, popularity and a bunch of other shit? It's the second one. It's popularity and a bunch of other shit. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here. Which game has the most going for it that'll probably lead to it winning? And I think the conversation that's been happening in my mind, at least, has just been between two games. Expedition 33, obviously, that's the one that everyone is talking about in regards to Game of the Year, and Death Stranding 2. And I'm thinking a lot, which one of these games do I think will win? So I'm going to talk about it, right? Because I think there are a lot of factors involved in this. First off, I want to address Silksong, which isn't out when I'm recording this and probably won't be out when I, release this video. I'll probably like Silksong more than Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2. It's not going to win. I think, I can't recall the last time a game that didn't, pretty much fit the AAA, aesthetic one. I mean, I guess Astrobot, but that was a celebration of a bunch of, AAA, properties. And It Takes Two is also an example of that. But usually it's all, games that feel AAA. Silksong, no. It would be cool if it won. It won't. And if it does, I'll film myself eating shit and post it on YouTube. I'm not joking. I am joking. I won't do that. And to be clear, by AAA aesthetic, I mean pretty big scope games. Good graphics, all that. Realistic graphics, I guess I should. That would be a better way to put it. And Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2 both fit that example, that aesthetic. Extremely. Oh, and also they're good. They're both really good games. Both, Game of the Year level games, so it's a shame that they have to compete with each other. So, for a game to win Game of the Year, there's a vote, and 10% worth of the vote is held publicly. That's the one that you or me can vote on. And it's only 10%, it doesn't matter. It's probably only there to get people engaged in it. Then the rest is some elite group of Illuminati gamers working for Jeff Keighley who all vote for it. Not that many people, and I'm 90% sure that they have to be coming in with a consensus for what they're going to be voting for, to make it a good show. And that's fair, but it kind of means that, it's not really a vote. It's a, it's not like they're arguing about, which game they actually like better. And covering that first, because, that's why I don't think quality is that big in this, this conversation. So what matters? First, popularity. Both of these games are extremely popular, Death Stranding 2 and Expedition 33. Both of them are very critically acclaimed. I do feel that there is a stronger argument that, looking at popularity, the Game Awards would go for Expedition 33, because, yes, Death Stranding 2 is getting, universal 10s and 9s. That was pretty much also the case for Expedition 33, and when it came out, most of the conversation around that game, I feel, is about the Game Awards. And, they're going to see that, and I feel that's going to heavily influence what they're going to go for. So that whole thing is worth considering when talking about, which of these games is going to win, All right, so disregard everything I've said up to this point, because the thing I think matters the most with the Game Awards is the narrative, right? And I'm going to have to, talk about this for a bit. So, the Game Awards is a show, first, right? It's supposed to be entertaining, right? And with that, I feel when they do Game of the Year, they want it to make sort of a thematic sense, which sounds insane, but think about it. 2021, it's a pandemic year. It's hard for people to come together. So what game wins Game of the Year? It Takes Two, which is a game, it's a game all about co-op, which makes so much sense considering it's fucking COVID-19, dude. It was hard to talk to anyone then. The most recent winner, all right, in 2024. It's the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards, a show dedicated to celebrating video games. So what game wins? The game that is a celebration of video games. I mean, Astrobot was destined to win from the fucking beginning, right? So there's a science to this, clearly. And yeah, you can't really apply the science to every year, you know, like 2019. I don't think there's an argument like that for Sekiro that just won because, you know, it was very popular, well-liked. It's certainly there, you know, and I feel like it's important to the conversation about what's going to win in 2025. Because think about it, right? 2015, 10 years ago, it's the Phantom Pain, and Kojima is not allowed to get any awards. Konami has him locked up and tortured in their Silent Hill 2 themed pachinko dungeon, right? Instead of being up on stage, accepting the whatever award he got. I forgot which one, you know, it wasn't like Game of the Year or anything. And then after that, he like frequently like comes to the Game Awards to announce stuff. Like there was that one thing with Jordan Peele that he announced. So considering all that, I feel like it would make so much sense for the Game Awards to be like, all right, we have to give this guy a Game of the Year award. And Death Stranding 2, I feel like, is kind of a perfect opportunity for them to do that, right? So with that narrative in mind, I think that Expedition 33 is going to win Game of the Year. That may sound like a joke after everything I've said, but like, here's how I put it, right? My heart says Death Stranding 2 is going to win. My gut says Expedition 33 is going to win, right? Because it feels like such a Game of the Year type game, and that's a really, like, lame, vague, loser, idiot way to put it. But that is how I'm going to put it. You know, it does remind me a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 when that game won, you know. Expedition 33, you know, it came out of nowhere, at least to me, made with a somewhat small team, and then people got obsessed with it. And I feel like my gut is saying that that's something that the Game Awards would gravitate to tremendously. And I don't want to disregard all the stuff I said about, like, them wanting to give award to Kojima, because I think, like, that is something that we need to consider in all this. And I do think that I am constantly going back as to whether I think that's going to be more important than everything, you know, regarding Expedition 33. So I do think it is like a 50-50. And if you ask me, you know, tomorrow, I might say, yeah, actually, it is going to be Death Stranding 2. But my gut is saying, I'm looking into the future here, and I am mainly seeing Jeff Keighley saying, all right, and the award goes to Expedition 33. Though I do think it is neck and neck. I don't know. I want to hear other people's thoughts on this, because I feel that it is honestly closer between these games than a lot of people give it credit for. I do feel like the people in general are being like, oh yeah, it's obviously going to be Expedition 33, when there is clearly a very big argument for Death Stranding 2 winning. I mean, I don't want to have my personal opinions get into this. I guess I would say I like that game more, but that's not why I'm saying it has a good chance of winning. I legitimately do feel, given Kojima's history as, like, the most respected person making video games, that Death Stranding 2 has, like, a humongous chance of winning. Right? Anyway, this is all for funsies. I don't know, like, I'm not a Game Awards, forecaster extraordinaire or anything. I wish I was, but I'm not. But yeah, those are just my opinions on the subject, and Donkey Kong Bonanza is gonna win.